April 22nd, the day of the trial.
The suspect admits to shooting the 5 people at the clinic in Baghdad.
Yesterday, all these roads were blocked off. You can see Hooker Road now open. Greenville Boulevard behind us. You can't see that, but that is now open.
Kelly has some muscles that are stronger than others. That's why he has this one-of-a-kind custom bike.
Take a look at this website, sexoffender.ncdoj.gov. You can search a city and find sex offenders in the area.
Now, both sides of the family, they're still getting over what happened, but they decide to put their differences aside for today for Tiana.
Search for a suspect. This morning, authorities are looking for a person of interest after a meth lab is found at the scene of a house fire. The charges this man is already facing next. Plus, a raging wildfire. This morning, firefighters are starting to get the blaze under control, but not before it burned through 1,700 acres. Now, 3 men are in custody for allegedly sparking the fire.
Still, News Channel 12 This Morning starts now.
Good morning, Eastern Carolina. Thanks for joining us on News Channel 12 this morning. It's 5 o'clock on your Friday, January the 17th. I'm Kyle Horan, in for Anna Bolshevitz.
And Kyle, I'm meteorologist Les Stelsey. You got the blue shirt note today.
All right, and you too. And I see that you were talking about the parade of clippers. I like that word. Good way to describe it.
Yeah, we've got quite a few that are going to be...
Heading straight to Lenoir County this morning, where officials are searching for a person of interest in connection to a meth lab and a house fire. That suspect, Eddie Stroud, is already charged with methamphetamine production from a previous case. Last night, emergency responders were called to Stroud's home off Highway 11 in Pink Hill. It's unclear if a meth lab explosion caused the fire, but Lenoir County Sheriff Chris Hill says meth precursors were found at the scene. Back in August, Stroud was busted for allegedly cooking meth at that same house. But Stroud, also known as Fast Eddie, has bonded out of jail for those charges. A highway patrol helicopter has been called in to help with the search. Anyone with information on Stroud's whereabouts is asked to contact the Lenoir County Sheriff's Office. Also in Lenoir County, more arrests in connection with a series of robberies, according to the Kinston Department of Public Safety. News Channel 12 made calls overnight and learned 3 more men are charged for the robberies. Yesterday, we reported Bobby Jackson turned himself in after police say he robbed the Walk and Roll and King's Barbecue restaurants in Kinston. Jamal Delty is also wanted on those charges. Fidel Lopez, Adrian Lopez, and Kentrell Watkins were charged for these crimes and also the robbery of a Salvation Army store. Overnight, residents began returning home in Glendora, California, following an out-of-control wildfire that forced an evacuation of some 3,000 residents. ABC's Mary Bruce has the latest. And good news for those in California. Fire officials say the fire is no longer advancing. New this morning, 4 men in Beaufort County are arrested in a drug bust after investigators find nearly $40,000 worth of drugs at a Bellhaven residence. Officials with the drug unit found 253 grams of cocaine and 91 grams of marijuana, along with digital scales and packaging materials. 42-year-old James McCabe and 43-year-old David Topping face a list of charges, including trafficking cocaine in possession with the intent to sell and deliver cocaine. 37-year-old Michael Sutton was charged with possession with intent to sell and deliver marijuana and maintaining a vehicle to keep or store a controlled substance. And 39-year-old Vincent Slade was charged with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. All 4 men are being held in the Beaufort County Detention Center. An Onslow County man is arrested on more than 24 charges, according to the Jacksonville Daily News. 24-year-old Quentin Bryant was arrested Thursday. The Onslow County Sheriff's Office received a tip that Bryant was traveling down Swansboro Road. Several officers, including a K-9 unit, responded. Bryant tried to flee but gave up, saying he did not want to compete with the dogs. Some of the many charges Bryant is facing: possession of a firearm by a felon, fleeing arrest, and possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver drugs. Well, it's a crackdown on drug activity in Kinston. The Department of Public Safety and other agencies arrested a dozen people they say are involved. But roundup isn't done yet. News Channel 12's Amber Roberts tells us authorities are still looking for more suspects. Health officials say 6 more people in North Carolina have died from the flu. That brings the total to 28 for this year's flu season that began in October. The Department of Health and Human Services released details on 5 new flu deaths, bringing the number to 27. But that didn't include a recent pediatric flu death this week. There's no word on the location of the deaths. Doctors urge people to wash their hands often and to get the flu shot. More information was released Thursday in the deadly shooting at an Elkhart, Indiana grocery store. A sergeant with Indiana State Police say they received calls that Sean Walter Bear may have known the 2 women he killed, but they don't know the nature of the relationship. One of the victim's boyfriends says he doesn't know why the gunman would target his girlfriend.
She did not deserve this at all. Out of all the people, she didn't deserve it. I don't know what his goal was. I don't know what his aim was. Mad at the world. There's definitely a family grieving for her. Definitely. And lots of friends. Lots of friends.
2 women were killed in the shooting. Police eventually shot the alleged gunman. Well, the time now is 5:09 on your Friday morning. As we head to break, let's take a quick check on the weather.
Well, Kyle, you're going to need to allow yourself a little extra defrost time.
I heard some more gunfire go off.
It was chaotic. There were screams in the background.
Like, pat, pat, pat.
There was gunfire everywhere. It sounded like a war zone out here.
On the first day of fireworks sales, other loud bangs had customers here and in the parking lot across the street scattering.
I look over and there's a guy walking casually with a shotgun.
Witnesses say a man was walking with his shotgun here, firing at anyone who got in the way. Tyler actually tried to call 911. It was busy.
I mean, if he was just on a rampage.
Just feet away, Ashley could see everything.
He could have shot the tent, and that could potentially blown up everything.
Police say the suspect shot a man in the parking lot of Kellum Law Firm. The gunman then walked across the street where the carnage continued, shotgun pellets flying towards people. Police arrived quickly. Gunfire was exchanged between the suspect and the first officers on scene. The suspect fled west. William Purvis was outside on a porch off Hooker Road.
I can hear bullets hitting off the tin or something. The iron was like ting, ting, ting.
He took cover as the gun battle grew closer.
Man, I mean, you can smell the gunpowder in the air.
Purvis eventually made his way inside. The battle ended on Hooker Road. That's where the shooting stopped. The suspect, taken down by what witnesses say was a barrage of police fire.
You just heard a straight 30 seconds of gunfire.
The fighting has since ceased. However, police still have a lot of work to do. They need to find a motive, whatever reason there could be, for a shooting rampage like this. In Greenville, Kyle Horan for News Channel 12.
There's a lot of names on there.
World War II, often regarded as the deadliest war in human history, immortalized by these names, forever ingrained at the Bayview Cemetery. Hugh Adderholt connects more closely with monuments like this. He spent 2 years fighting in the war. Through most of those days, he was in captivity.
In February 2nd, 1943, I quit high school.
At 18, he was shipped overseas.
We landed in Casablanca.
Adderholt's company made their way to Italy, where he joined the 34th Red Bull Division, and the fighting started.
But I spent most of that time on the front line while I was with my outfit. And I fought from there to Cassino, Italy. And I found me a bunker out there at the edge of this field and crawled in it, and there's about 5 more guys crawled in there behind me, and that's where the Germans found us.
He spent the first 2 days as a prisoner of war under American artillery fire. Then the Germans moved the prisoners out. Just outside Cassino, they stayed in a shed next to a house. However, artillery hadn't let up.
I was standing there with a bad headache, stretching, and the shell hit right up over my head. And the dust flew everywhere, and I turned around and ran out of the building. And one of my buddies had to have an arm and a leg amputated. Man, I felt bad when he had to leave him at that hospital. He was one of my best buddies. I don't know whatever happened to him.
The Germans then took Adderholt back to Germany. They kept prisoners in moving camps until the Russian invasion. The prisoners slept in barns and haylofts and often had to walk all day with little food.
They had some good margarine. and that slice of bread of a morning tastes pretty good.
The Germans moved Adderholt from Holland into Belgium, where American soldiers liberated the prisoners. 3 weeks later, the war was over.
War wasn't over in the Pacific till, I think it was August of '45.
Adderholt wasn't left with much at the end, just an incredible story and a deep respect for our country.
Yeah, if I had to do over again, I'd do the same thing, even not knowing whether I was going to get back or not.
In Morehead City, Kyle Horan for News Channel 12.
To bring awareness to this cancer is actually the main reason God put me here.
1 foot.
I run 3 to 5 miles.
In front of the other. The will to move forward.
That's what I'm hoping for.
A promise.
She opened up the skies and made a beautiful day for us out here.
To run. To never stop. Donnie Sills is raising awareness for sarcoma, a type of cancer that develops from connective tissues in the body. It's said that cancer touches everyone's lives. Donnie is no different. His wife, Cindy Sills, was diagnosed with the disease in 2012. She was stage 4.
She said, it's really bad. You're stage 4.
But like her husband's devotion, she never gave up.
And I said, stage 4. I got a lot of work to do.
The Sills are in love, a couple of 36 years. A little thing like cancer couldn't get in the way of their commitment. Rhabdomyosarcoma.
Right across your forehead. How's it going so far?
Doing good.
Perhaps Cindy's most striking trait.
All right, thank you.
Her will to fight. A trait not wasted on her husband Donnie. And to keep his promise, Cindy's dying wish to her husband, something simple: never stop.
We know she's at peace now. The cancer has no more effect on her whatsoever.
Cindy passed in her home on September the 6th. She's buried here.
Still feel her presence around.
A grave, colorfully decorated, purple, her favorite color, and rainbows to symbolize the way she lived life. Why rainbows? When Cindy was diagnosed with sarcoma, one appeared outside of her home. She made the decision to connect that to her fight.
She just never gave up, even up to the end. You know, she would smile, and up 2 days before she passed away, she held her fist up like this. It's like she's still fighting.
Her example, Donnie took to heart.
This is a lifetime thing for me. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to look at least having 1 or 2 events each year.
Living life like they both did the past year.
It's a life deal, you know, and life and death.
Until Donnie joins her.
Actually, one of my favorite shots of hers is in this album. That's the best picture I think I've taken of her. She was so natural. She wasn't posing or anything, and she was just kind of into everything that was around her, whatever she was looking at out there. She passed away right here on this spot in a hospital bed.
In a home surrounded by rainbows and chimes, in her final days on Earth, Cindy assured her legacy. One of awareness, raising thousands of dollars with her husband. Cindy campaigned at events and through public displays. Her story to be remembered as fighting the disease, not only on her own, but through others, through hope.
And that's what we learned to do through the creation of Cindy's Rainbow.
A Facebook page bringing together those who fight the disease, Cindy's Rainbows. And it connected again in her death when a rainbow, this time more faint, popped up in the same place.
Hoping for rainbows, rainbows are hope, and that's how we looked at them.
But what about that promise? Donnie continues Cindy's fight, the one she will never lose.
Give me a honk.
Through beeps on the road.
There you go, sarcoma awareness, that's what it's all about. Sarcoma awareness, thank you, ma'am.
Though Cindy is gone,
not just for my wife,
her fight can continue for others.
This is for the Canes. This is for the Tracys.
1 foot in front of the other. In Havelock, Kyle Horan
for News Channel 12.